Hey, I'm David. I've been a member of Dissent for about 10 and a half months now. I joined July of 2022. I've always come from like a pretty active family. Both my parents played sports, college basketball. My mom was a swimmer in college. So just like growing up, we were always like integrated with like sports, whether it was basketball or soccer, volleyball, that kind of stuff. As I like kind of grew up and into adult, right, I joined like intramural teams in college, and then kind of started, my own journey as far as like what I like to do, right? So I initially started running and lifting and, just kind of muddled through things, right, the best I could, with like very little guidance at times, but always like, doing something to try to stay active. I kind of will tend to get bored if I end up doing the same thing over and over, right? So there was like a period I was like running half marathons and I was like, well, this is the worst thing ever, right? All I'm doing is running, right? Or doing spin classes, right? Or doing yoga, and it's just kind of like, I'll get tired out after a couple months of doing the same thing over and over again. So I first heard about Dissent through one of the local like sober community activity groups. And so I started coming on Friday nights where they did a free group here. And that was probably maybe almost 2 years ago or 18 months ago. So I came with them for 6 to 9 months, I think, pretty regularly, and kind of introduced to Dissent that way. I'd never done many of the movements that we did here. I would come into the class and see the class, that was ending right before we started, right? And see just like, first of all, like, right, like how like fit everybody was, right? Whether like in all different like shapes and sizes of people, right? But and also just like leaving it all on the floor when they got done with the class, and so jumping into those groups, right, like I knew there was more that I could do, right? But it was like an awesome like introduction to like getting in here, right, getting comfortable with movements, like pushing myself a little bit in some certain things that I had never done before, whether it was like a burpee or a box step up. I started noticing, right, even by just going like once a week, right, that there were certain things happening, right? I felt stronger. I felt, I was like a little more agile in certain things, and I knew that I could push myself harder than just those the Phoenix classes that I had joined with. And so kind of made a decision, my roommate and I, to join, right? And then Jonathan and Kelsey held us to that decision, pretty strongly once July rolled around. And so we hopped on, we did our little intro call or intro meeting with Jonathan. And then, wrapped up and scheduled our first like integration session with Ashley, and then kind of hit the ground running. Thought of jumping up onto a box, right, was like terrifying for me. And I remember, okay, I'll put the box in the lowest setting and we'll do some step ups, right? And then one day, Lindsay was like, nope, we're not doing that anymore. She's like, she put the box up on the higher height, right? And she jumped up on it, and she's like at least a foot shorter than I am, right? She's like, you can do this, So she kind of coached me on that. And I kind of muddled through that couple workouts of doing that, and then like moving the box to the next higher setting, and now I'm pretty comfortable with that. So just kind of getting over my fear of that was probably my first win. Classes are kind of like they're structured enough and they're of an adequate size, right? Where the coach that's there with you gets to spend a lot of like one-on-one time with you, whether it's in like the strength or skill session in the beginning, just kind of like giving you feedback on what you can improve and working with you, drilling down into certain like movements or cues. And then also during the workout, just like motivating you to like keep pushing, right? Because they know what you're capable of, even if you're having like feeling like an off day or just an unmotivated day, they're going to be there to kind of cheering you on. What I'm currently working on is going to be some combination of like rig work, right? So like trying to get more comfortable with like kipping pull-ups, right? So I'm transitioning to some butterfly pull-ups, trying to get my chest to the bar. And then also like just being being comfortable with kicking up into like a handstand against the wall. It's not fun to like flip all 200 plus pounds of my body upside down against the wall, right? I mean, I'm never gonna do that if I didn't come here, right? If I didn't feel supported by like all the coaches here, and have enough time to like work on that in groups, and then also like coming in like, out of group time and putting some individual work in, definitely kind of has helped me grow in those areas. Right, one of the biggest things is just like confidence, right? And like knowing that like I come in here and I put some hard work in and I can do things that are challenging and unfamiliar, right? And that I know that I can accomplish those, and bringing that kind of confidence and just like work ethic into like my job, right? Into my personal life as well. Like feeling just a little bit more comfortable walking into challenging situations. Obviously, like there's the nutrition benefit side of things, right? So like getting some good feedback from the coaches, Jonathan, Kelsey, Lindsay, and everybody, right? About like, hey, what does a healthy like food intake look like, right? And trying to fix my relationship around food with that. And then just like being more healthy in general. Doing anything new is going to be scary. What I would say is that you're going to be supported if you come in here. The way the program sets you up to integrate first with a couple classes and then join the group classes. Right there, like I said before, they're an adequate size where you can have a lot of one-on-one attention, and they scale everything for you, right? So if you need like a more modified movement or something, like they're going to help you with that, right? They're going to be alongside you when you're celebrating your wins, right? They're going to be pushing you to do better because they know that you can. So yeah, take the step, right? I mean, your health is a really important thing, right? And you got this one life to kind of live, right? And to be healthy and to see what you can make out of it. So I'd say